Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Jay and Nichole's Learning Lab podcast. Today, we're going to kind of recap what we accomplished and how we felt about our first season. And then we're going to give you a brief look into the future on what we have planned. Thanks for joining. Nichole?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a wild ride. It was a bit of a short season, but I felt really good about that because it was, last year, new start, but we also learned a lot in a really short amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't know nearly enough, but we did learn enough. I feel that we kind of have a better grasp on our direction for this year. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I do. We didn't know what we didn't know when we started. We had no idea. We just kind of leaped without looking, which I enjoy that. I think that's fun. Um, but there are definitely some things that we took away from that we can learn from.
So, what was your number one takeaway from last season?
Getting guests scheduled in advance, well in advance. Yeah, because I had to resort to just going out on Facebook going, hey, anybody want to come on the podcast that could do this or talk about XYZ?
That was a shocker for me that how many people responded to that so quickly and so well, like almost overwhelmingly so.
Yeah, and thank you for everybody that sent me a message on that.
Right?
But yeah, I was shocked too. Because me, I would not be a person to jump up and volunteer to be on anybody's podcast.
Nope.
I wouldn't do it. I
Well,
wouldn't
and
do it.
how many of those groups, I mean, let's be real, everyone listening, how many of our groups do we not see a whole lot of interaction? So it's a great reminder also just that people are there. They just don't always respond. A lot of people are lurkers, I like to
Right.
say.
That's me. That's me. I'm
That's
a
me
lurker.
too. I'm a total lurker. I don't respond to a lot of stuff, but I love being in the groups and seeing what's going on.
Hmm. For sure.
But yeah, I was really shocked by that. That actually was a big shocker for me was to how many people responded so quickly. And then it reminded me of the resources I actually have
Right.
that I could put out. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm part of this group." And "Oh yeah, I know these people."
The
Thinking.
the other thing that really benefited me personally is, I'm a bit of a recluse or a kind of a private person,
Yeah.
but it forced me to open up more on social media, and really kind of let people know who I really am. And I was really uncomfortable doing that. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. But this forced me to do that, and I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, I've been
Um,
doing that story time with Teacher Cole for a couple years. So I've been doing like lives and recordings because I think the first year and a half I did them weekly religiously live.
mhm.
And then I moved to pre-recorded and sometimes live. So I do have that experience, but my lack of experience was having a collaborator. So
Right. Yeah, that wasn't, yeah.
yeah. Well, it's so difficult to have a collaborator. I found for myself, um, I'm extremely, this. I'm a workhorse. So I'm kind of, high end get stuff done, and
Right.
and so for me it's hard to collaborate because some people don't have as much urgency or sense of work ethic that I do, which is fine. I mean, I don't see
Right.
anything wrong with that. It's just it's hard for me to collaborate with someone like that.
Sure.
So for me to collaborate with you was really nice because you are very work driven.
Mhm.
So I think, in my opinion, I don't know. I think we work very well together, which was a great surprise for me, and I really liked that a lot.
Yeah, I like that too. It's led to some really long conversations that went way too deep into the night. And everybody, just so you know, we are not married. Okay. Everybody asks because we both live in the Philippines. We are not
Oh
married. We are
yeah,
friends. We are friends.
yeah, friends, and we live on completely different islands in the Philippines.
Right,
Actually, like
right,
we're not even like, hey, let's go visit.
right.
That would be an
You know,
entire vacation.
part of this, I was really surprised. My wife's Filipino,
My husband is
and
Filipino.
right, well, all of a sudden she sees me talking to all these Western women, and I was just wondering how that was gonna fly. She said, what are you doing? And I told her, and she said, oh, that's great. She was actually really happy that I was communicating with other people finally, instead of work, 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 don't talk to anybody, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to
Oh,
you. She
right.
was,
Well,
yeah.
you know, in all fairness, though, in the teaching realm, which we are in,
Mhm.
it is predominantly female.
Yes, yes.
I mean, I do know that when I need a male teacher for anything, I mean, the
The
choices.
pool is small.
The pool is small. It's very small.
Right,
And
right.
I know more male teachers than most people I know,
Hmm.
just because I tend to have mostly male friends, which my husband doesn't care about either. He just knows my personality.
Right.
So it's funny because the pool is very small, which is unfortunate, I think, because I think teachers from different, not only different societies and different countries and different ethnic backgrounds, but also different genders, I think brings something different to the table, which
Yep.
segues us into our schedule for this coming season.
Yes. I'm looking forward to this. We're not going to give any names away, but we have two pretty well-known, uh, I don't know what to call them, online independent teaching
Coaches.
coaches and strategists
Yeah.
coming up. They're both very different, though. They're both very different. They don't do the same thing. Um, and I know them both. And I would recommend them to anybody, anybody. So I'm looking forward to bringing them on.
Yeah, I know one very well.
Mhm.
The other one I know of them.
Right.
Not personally though, but I do hear great things. What I do like is that we were able to get, as we talked about, male and female,
Yes. Yes.
which is very
Yes.
interesting. And both of them have been in the teaching field and coaching field, just like I
Yep.
do coaching as well and consulting.
Right.
So um that's how I know them because they're on both sides of that fence like I am.
Mhm.
So I'm very interested to see the difference in the two's their strategies, what they bring to the table, how they approach it. I think it'll be very interesting. I think it'll be very helpful also to teacherpreneurs because
Oh yeah.
we are self-employed. What people don't
Right.
realize is this is a business for
Right.
us. You
Right.
know,
If you do not treat it as such, I promise you, you will fail. I
yeah.
promise you.
I mean, and especially since, the whole China shutdown where most of us were
Mhm.
relying on just one, because we're used to that in our own countries. You have one job, right? So you work
Right.
for one company. And we don't
Mhm.
do that anymore because we learned the hard way, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So we'll work for multiple companies. We'll have our own side teaching, we'll have our own promotions. And so,
Mhm.
it's a business. And even when we do work for those companies, it's still a business because we're self-employed. We're contracted. We do not
Right.
actually work for them as an employee.
Yep.
Hence the whole tax conundrum if you're American outside the country. You know?
Yeah.
But that irks me so bad every year. You have no idea how much that
You
irks
know,
me.
there is a tax rule, and nobody take my word for it. Go to your tax guy or girl. Um,
I have
but
one.
there is a rule when you are out of the country working for 330 days out of the year. It used to be $100,000. The first $100,000 is tax free. However, I do not think that applies to self-employed.
Well, yeah, like I'm self-employed and so I actually have to hire somebody because it's a different tax. Just so people know, like if you're
Mhm.
American, right? And we're one of the few, I think it's one of only two, there might be a third one, but it's different, but two actual countries that still tax their citizens outside the country.
Right.
So I
Right.
have to do what's called expat taxes, and I have a
Right.
tax attorney that does it for me every year. Um, just because it's more difficult. It's an entire whole different process.
Right.
But there is a set of taxes I'm not required to pay while outside the country. So I
Mhm.
pay everything else, but there's one small segment I don't have to pay, which lessens my burden a little bit. But it is definitely a pain in the patootie. I'm just telling you, it's just really is. It's a total pain. Um, and it's annoying because I have so many foreign friends that don't have to pay when they're
Right.
outside the country, and I'm like, "Ugh."
Now, uh, to bring us back on track here,
Sorry.
we have to record this a second time, everybody, because somebody forgot
Oh,
to click the record button.
oh no, I didn't forget to click the record button. I just decided to click it in the BS session before the actual recording was supposed to start. And so I turned it off. So I go to load it for us to edit, and I'm
Mhm.
editing going, no, no, that's not what we're supposed to be doing. So
Anyways,
take two.
anyways, we yeah, we are going to start next week's episode. We're going to start with something I think is important that isn't talked about enough, and
Yep.
that's our mental health as online teachers. And our
Mm,
plan is to bring on two or three, maybe even four teachers to talk about that. Um, and then the following month, we have a returning guest whose name will remain anonymous for now.
super excited about
And
that.
we're also going to do an episode that, as a white male, I knew this used to be a problem, but I didn't realize it was still a problem. But that's racism in the online teaching arena. I didn't realize it was a problem until the past few months. It is still a problem.
I
So,
didn't realize how big of a problem it was until when I scaled my teaching company and I hired teachers. I
mhm,
hired anybody who had the qualifications and references. I did personal interviews and training, and I had people from all over the place. I had a wonderful gentleman from Nigeria that had great credentials, wonderful teacher. He did a
mhm,
free New Year's one for me. Awesome teacher. I have had a couple from South Africa who have not been white, and a couple other places, even the Philippines. I had one or two
yeah,
teachers, and wow, like I was specifically asked, "Do you have any white teachers?" And I went, "What?"
right. Right.
I went, "Excuse me." I was like,
I helped a lady with giving her a couple opportunities, and I got her hooked up with one of the agents that I use
mm,
and another agent that I don't use as often. I wish I could use him more because he pays fantastically, and he will be on the podcast as well.
"Yeah."
Um, uh-oh.
Oh, you got the cough. Ah, it
There we
happens.
go. But she did a trial lesson for him. The trial lesson went fantastic, and the parents wouldn't take her because she was black and
It's so
very highly
unfortunate.
qualified, very experienced. I've never seen her teach, but just knowing her the way I do, I think she's probably really good with that, like 4, 5, and 6-year-old range that I feel is very difficult to teach. Um, I think she's probably really good at that age, but they wouldn't
Well,
take her because she was black. I'm gonna
uh,
see if she'll come on. I'm not sure if she will, though. I'm not sure if she will.
I have a couple of teachers that are friends of mine that I'm hoping will come on,
Hmm.
just because I think it's a subject that needs to be talked about.
Hmm.
But I also think that there's a lot of miscommunication, and also, it's a miscommunication, but also like cultural difference,
Hmm.
bias, and also a lot of misunderstanding because
Right,
it's not something you can easily discuss without having high emotions.
right, right,
And
right. You're gonna
right,
be charged up. Yeah, you're gonna be
yeah, and
charged.
when you're charged up and you're angry, rightfully so, um it usually shuts people off from listening,
Yep, yep,
even though you're completely, it's completely valid to be upset like that.
of
um
course.
so I'm very interested. I'm hoping that maybe it will help open eyes for everybody across the board. Who knows, maybe in a parent month we can Ooh, maybe in a parent month we can ask why that's an issue.
Yeah, and and
I
one
just
of the
thought of that,
things,
like a
one of
counterpart to the teacher racism. Do
yeah,
it from the parent side.
one of the things that you and I talked about is this year, last year we started doing it at the end, but this year we want to push people a little bit, and we're going to ask some tougher questions. We're going to ask some tougher questions, not to embarrass the person, nothing like that, but the tougher questions are usually the questions that people want to know the answer to.
Yes.
They want or
So
they want to hear an opinion on.
exactly. So our we've changed up our schedule plan. So I'm going to at least give the layout for that.
Okay.
So what we've decided is we will not be having guests every week because filling that is a challenge. So the last week of the month is our recap and look forward, right?
Right.
And we're testing out is one hard hitting topic each month because
Right.
we theme the months as a parent month, a parent
Mhm.
topic month, a teacher topic month, and then a business coaching topic month. So that way parents and teachers can both learn from understanding that side of the business and maybe why their teacher responds the way they do or why
Mhm.
they bill the way they do. Because I think also parents misunderstand that it's a business. So pardon me. Sorry, I'm getting a little froggy. So we're trying to also have that one really heavy topic. So we have the mental health, we have the
Mhm.
racism. We're still nailing down that parent one. We're floating around a couple ideas. And trying to bring on people that maybe give us some value or make us think about things that we haven't thought of before. Definitely send us messages in the comments or in any of our podcasts. What do you want to see as a podcast? What are you interested in? What
Right.
do you think that, people should know or learn about? We are completely open. We don't like to be super strict, but we do like to have a general outline. And we're very flexible at changing our
Right.
topics.
We did it in the first season. We changed a few around.
Well, in our last podcast, we were literally changing them around while we were supposed to be recording it. I'm never going to let myself down with that one. I'm telling you. So one
Me
of the
either.
things we changed is we actually added one of our topics during the teacher month in February is the agents. Some of us
Right.
use have to use agents. We just can't break that wall
Right.
into the parent segment of getting those parents. And so a lot of us have to use those agents.
I used two. I used two of them. So
You
I have
gave
no
me one.
problem with,
I use
yep.
one. One, yeah. So it's very I think it's going to be a very interesting month. So we're going to start with January is going to be our business month and then business coaching month. February will be our teacher month. So we'll have teacher centered topics. Um, March will be our parent focus. I'm really hoping we can get some kids on or parents in this one.
Yeah, boy, nothing sounds more fun than having a group of our students on.
I have some that
Good
I would
grief,
love to put on.
that would just, oh my God, that would be fun. That would be, it's a challenge though, because of their availability. Are they all going to be
Well,
available at the
this is
same
why I'm
time?
actually liking having the 3 month
Season?
themes. Yeah, so this way, having the parents at the end, it gives us 2 months to maybe make a schedule where they are actually
Hmm.
scheduled. And I'm wondering if we can do like one where parents come on and one where kids come on, and then it just leaves the hard hitting one, so you can
Right.
sandwich it, right?
Yeah.
Parents, hard hitter, kids, recap, season end.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah. I've approached two parents and both of them have been willing to come on. Um, one from, one from Hong Kong and one from Taiwan. There is one from China that I think would be okay. We also have to consider, some of the parents don't speak English, um, or very little. So we don't want to put them in a really bad spot. Um,
No, I don't think I would ask any terribly difficult questions. I do
mm,
think that maybe like I just realized with the February one, I think maybe we can do um almost like a teacher and parent version of that hard-hitting teacher
Yeah,
topic.
yeah,
So you get
I
like both
think so.
sides of that coin, I
Mhm.
think might be a better approach for that, which I'm
Yeah.
just now realizing.
Yeah, well, some of the parents that I was thinking, or if I brought their kids on, the parents are going to be there anyways. They're going to
Oh
be
yeah.
right there, you know.
Yeah, I do have a couple parents from Korea, and I have some friends, teacher friends who teach in Korea who might also be able to reach out to their parents if they'd like to join as well.
Okay. Yeah, that would
That's some
work.
thoughts.
That
And
would work.
I think I have a couple from Japan. I'll have to work on that. It gives us a couple seasons to think on it.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
time.
But
Mine
again,
are mostly focused in the triad.
I'm very heavy with most of my students being on the island of Taiwan. So
Mhm.
I do have quite a bit on the mainland in China. So China mainland. So yeah, I have quite a bit. All right. Well, I don't know. I'm excited. 2025 is here. So I think we learned a lot last year. So we were able to kind of readjust our process for our schedule this year. We're still keeping it pretty loose and free, but general outlines. Yeah. So what was your biggest takeaway? Like who was your favorite person that we had on, our favorite guest, and your biggest takeaway? I know, right?
Boy, it's really close between two, and they're I liked Yan. I liked Yan. Um, she brought youth in,
Mm,
and and that was the first one where I decided to publish it as a video because I could see her face and I could see how excited she was
yeah.
about her product. That I liked
Shh.
Deanne an awful lot. She was very excited about her product.
Well, she was so passionate and prepared.
Yeah,
Like
she was.
she was super articulate. Like she was
Mhm.
prepared.
Right,
But yeah, she was extremely excited and you could
mhm,
just tell it was very genuine.
right. I think she would probably be a really good boss
I have
to
that
work
feeling
for.
as well. I don't know. She
I
just
think
came
so.
across that way. I
Mhm.
agree. I agree.
Now, who was yours?
Xavier.
Ah,
So,
he was really he he was he was prepared, but in a different way. He's really knowledgeable overall,
yep.
you know.
Well, his background was so unique.
Right.
It was just, I just felt overall it was a very interesting. See, it was hard for me to choose between Yan and Xavier, to be honest.
Mhm.
I loved Yan for the exact same reasons that you said. I think she's amazing. And, like, I just really enjoyed that a lot. It was very easy she just made it effortless to do
Right,
that
right.
podcast. It was like
Yeah.
no work at all. Xavier did the same thing, but in a different way. And what
Right.
I loved about Xavier is that he was extremely real. Like, oh wait, I have to go do something in the middle,
Right.
and things would like we
That
do.
was
Like,
great.
it
That
was
was
awesome.
great.
I loved it because we're
Right.
pretty laid back. And he
Mhm.
was just laid back. He was just like in his house.
Right.
What I loved about him more than anything else was it wasn't just about his platform. It was helping us do better at the same time.
Right.
Like
Right.
giving us ideas and
Yeah.
suggestions. And I was like, man, you're cool.
One of the things he brought up, which I had never really thought
Me
of, but
either.
do a group with other people,
In the same
competitors,
field.
possibly, yeah, in the ed tech field. And I thought, what a great idea. And this isn't an episode where they're gonna put the gloves on and they're gonna go at it. This
No,
is more of a
meeting of
uh,
minds,
right, right, exactly. More
discussing the
talking
differences
about
and similarities and yeah,
the industry in
yeah,
general. Yeah, yeah.
where
I
it's
think
going,
that
where
would
it's
be.
been,
I
right?
don't know. I don't know that we can fit that in this season. Probably have to be next. But
I have a feeling that's one we're going to have to book out a little farther because they are
mm,
quite busy.
right.
We're talking, this is CEO level people. So I think their schedules were going to be quite frantic, especially with the Chinese New Year showing up, Lunar New
Right.
Year, and a couple other holidays. So I think that one will be one we'll have to do the next season, maybe season 3,
Mhm.
because we start off with the business month. So yeah, he was my favorite. Now, most interesting or funny. That was
Oh,
Brenda, hands down.
hands down, boy, we had so many bloopers. We should make a blooper reel at some point.
We really should.
Uh,
I think I'm gonna have to, instead of deleting all those videos, I think I'm gonna throw them on P Cloud because I have unlimited storage there with what I
uh-huh.
bought. So I think I'm gonna throw them on P Cloud for later bloopers.
Yeah,
For real.
when we're more well known,
Yeah.
I think people would like it
I think
because
it'd be fun to
Brenda
just,
still has not committed, by the way.
yeah, you're gonna have to go back and watch that one to figure that out. Uh, but yeah, she was, I have to say, yeah, when it came to like, just fun and funny and oh, and that podcast, I think that was like a 2 hour
Yeah, as a marathon.
recording that we just managed to cut, I don't know, to 45 minutes or something. We're just like, we're done
Uh,
here. We're good.
yeah, we gotta cut it. We just gotta cut it.
I
I
think
don't
we
know
have
if
enough for an
anybody listens till
entire,
the end, anyways.
well,
Not
like,
sure if any.
not, I don't know. I think we would have to do, we could have almost done like 2 episodes off of that
Oh yeah, easily,
easily.
easily,
All right. Well, here's
easily.
hoping for some new and amazing guests who also bring not only expertise, but a bit of fun to the table as well.
Sure.
Hmm.
And thanks everybody. We enjoyed the first season. Look forward to the next.
Yes. See you next week. Don't miss out. Don't forget Thursdays, 8 p.m. every Thursday. Well, 8 p.m. ish, GMT plus 8. There are times that there have been a few times, my fault, his fault too, but mostly my fault, where I have gone, oh, I didn't render that. Whoops. And I went to render it, and it took so long to render the video that it was like
Right.
8:30. I was like, uh-oh, I have to get better at doing that.
Right, right.
All right, you guys. See you season 2. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, wait, I'm going to end the meeting instead of pausing it. Ha! Bye again.